Well, as of today, I am back into the welding stick. Um,
Cue
and
applause.
yeah, so
No, applause is still going. Applause is ended. Okay.
okay, all right, yeah, you settled?
Oh, no,
You
it's
good?
the editor. It's not me.
Jumps down and slides down the hill. I see shots going above his head.
So she's like, oh, great, on her one day off, you're trying to romance this Pan Am chick. And I'm like, honey, it's V, it's not me. Come on.
Brought back some old Catholic school memories, did it?
Oh, man. Yeah, you just... Okay, you know the DMV slaw?
I know you're going with this.
Yeah. This guy.
You're listening to On the Rewind.
Okay, and welcome back to On the Rewind, broadcasting on Amherst Radio, 101.3 FM. We also are on Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're going to be there. Just want to thank everyone for coming back for a listen. We took a bit of a hiatus. One of those things, when you grow older, schedules don't always line up. But we're back. We're in the studio right now, and we are ready to crank out another show for you. All right, Derek, let's give me a rewind. It's got to be a big one because it's been forever. Let's hear it.
All right. So since our last episode, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has come out. Funny little story about that. Adam bought it. I did a little Steam family sharing to play it, and then the one time that he was playing it and I wanted to play it, I broke down and bought it.
That is really funny because it's been long enough that I almost forgot about how funny that was. Because I want to share the other side of it too, where I would be, there was one time where I was just staying up really late being a degenerate. I saw you on, and I'm like, ooh, I don't like that. Because I wanted to, honestly, just no life, half in the bag. Just wanted to blacksmith a bunch. I wanted to do your min-maxing, but thankfully, your min-maxing stopped me from doing that, which was cool. But yeah, that was the first time in a long time I've bought in a game as it came out, full price. Very, very good purchase on my end.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
To be honest, when we did a recap of games that were coming out this year, very early on in the year, when I said Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and talked about all the neat mechanics in it, I didn't think I was actually going to buy it. But having played it and gotten an actual taste for it, preceded me to buy it. So I think it's one of those games that actually would have benefited from a demo.
I fully agree. I don't know what exactly. I think it was a mixture of you talking about it, and then a video or something that came out about it that really piqued my interest. But I am in the same boat with you, where when we talked about it early in the year, I was like, barely know it, kind of half, I'll look at it maybe. If it comes free on Epic, I would have played it. But after actually giving it a real gander and then just getting that itch, it was just a little itch in the back of my head, and then it came out. I think I waited till the Friday after it came out to get it. But yeah, oh man, it is a worthwhile trip. I think I got about 60, 70 hours into it now, and I'm not getting that usual kind of drag that I usually get around this time. I'm still pretty invested into it. I think that's also mixed with the fact that I have barely any time to game anymore. So when I do, I'm really enjoying myself. Just for the pure fact that I'm gaming alone. But no, I gotta say, give it its true right or true commitments or whatever you want to call it. Really good game. Pretty much you can play it how you want to play it.
Yeah, I'm currently looking at my Steam. I'm sitting at about 74 hours played, and a lot of that was spent grinding.
Yeah. Well, see, that's where we had completely two different playthroughs there, where I can't grind too much. I just don't have it in me. But I have pretty much the stats that I have been using are almost maxed at this point. to the point where I almost might like switch up something, but like, well, yeah, let's go through what we're playing. I'm playing as a good boy knight, classic long sword and shield. Well, actually, that's not classic. Usually it's a short sword. But yeah, no, I'm pretty much like your average cavalry type looking knight, wear armor almost all the time. I don't wear the full like helmet and the chainmail cough, but all the time I wear full set of armor with a hood on to just like cover that up, make that look real nice. And with all my stats, I am like 20 times more charming than the most expensive clothes I can buy.
Okay. Now I'm so at the very beginning when you get to do the dialogue option, I went scout.
Yeah.
And I fulfilled that role. I am definitely the Ranger Oregon from like Lord of the Rings in the sense where I'm not typically full heavy armor with the closing helmet. That's very rare unless I know it's going to be like a on the battlefield with a bunch of soldiers kind of thing. I kind of wander around as like the Ranger, and the reason why I did any grinding in the first place was I saw the Ranger skill for slow-mo when you shoot, and I'm like, I want that.
Yeah.
And so I sat there for an ungodly amount of hours doing archery tournaments in the first area of the game.
That's so funny.
And once I got that, I then, when there's any scene where it's like, oh, here's an army hunting you down, it's like, I'm not stuck here trying to escape you. I'm getting out of here. It's just how many of you do I shoot on the way out?
Yeah. And oh yeah, you've been poisoning your arrows too, which by the way I started doing to my sword. Very nice.
It makes a difference.
It does. I usually just put like a weak lullaby or something like on that, so like their stamina runs out, so I can kind of get in there. But yeah,
I put lullaby on the sword, but I put the bane on the arrows.
Ooh, okay.
So regardless, as long as I'm using the piercing arrows, that way it goes to the armor. No matter where I hit you.
Yeah.
It's like one arrow sunk into you. I can like, you could be running at me with a sword. I can pull my hand out, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and watch it drop.
That's so cool. Yeah. For the most.
And so it's like, I need that second to pull the arrow back. It's just go get him, dog, or mutt.
Yeah.
and
Mutt's
then run a little bit.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah. I actually had Hound Mastery is the first thing I had maxed out.
I believe that might have been mine, or what was it? The survival went up weirdly quick, but Hound Master or horse, whatever it's called, horsemanship.
Yeah.
But yeah, those ones just like naturally just always were going up. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I maxed out my level 30 on my sword. And pretty much there is no one who is coming at me like one-on-one battle that I'm not okay with. Yeah. Like they are one of those things where it's like it takes a while to like get decent at the mechanic, but there is a mastery to it. Yeah. Where like I'm feinting, I'm dodging now, I'm parrying, like no, I have a whole toolbox now that I know how to use, and it's actually kind of dope.
Are you sword and boarding or just the sword?
Oh, sword and shield all the time.
Yeah. When I'm going around, I'm doing just the sword or the bow.
Yeah.
And then I have, in case it's a bunch of armored guys, I still have, what's the old guy that gives you the mace?
Gnarly.
I still have Gnarly's mace.
Okay, yeah.
On the hip. And that, I'm thinking, once I get my strength up a little bit higher so I can carry a shield, I'll have like the shield and the mace.
Oh, I like that.
As a fallback.
Yeah, there was a guy with a Ravenclaw hammer and a shield that I went up against. And that was the only time where I'm like, okay, we're kind of getting a little close here, buddy. But as soon as I put my little hood down on my my helmet, pretty safe. There's been a few dicey
you probably
calls.
got the perk that gives you the helmet reduced damage and stuff like that, but I didn't bother going for that because I don't really wear the helmet all that much.
Yeah, this is the only time I've ever been a tank that I can remember. Where so it's kind of fun. I'm
Oh, yeah.
slow as hell, and that one perk where if you stand still, you get a bunch of stuff. And then I have the one where your battle cry gives you a bunch of buffs. So I just stand there and scream at you. I'm like, come and
Yeah.
get me. And then, yeah, if you come and get me, you're done. But I'm pretty
So
much
you're an
tree.
armored barbarian.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, all this to say is you can probably tell in our voices, awesome game. Like,
yeah.
really fun, really expansive. I've only actually run into one bug, which I'm kind of upset about. You know the troubadours?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you met them in Kutenberg?
No.
Okay. Unfortunately, you probably drove past them, rode past them, and that triggered them being there. And then once you like reload or save, they're in pillories. And you're like, hey, maybe I can get you out. I talk to them, and then I save to be like, okay, I'm gonna like work out a way to do this, but I don't want to get in trouble because I'm a good boy knight. So I'm gonna reload, save, and then go at them. Well, doing that, a lot of people have found, because a lot of people like to save before they do bad shit, is that they immediately stand up and just not T-pose, but damn near close, just T-pose there. And like you can't interact with them. So I'm hoping that gets fixed. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But
I've had 2 bugs. One that I actually had to turn on cheats to fix. A door that wasn't supposed to be locked. You can no longer interact with when you're trying to clean the one castle of the demons.
Okay, yep.
And then the other one, which I managed to fix by reloading the save multiple times. I had just done the prep work of like, okay, this isn't working no matter how many times I reload the save. Okay, I'm going to do the command, get the coordinates that's just outside the door.
Yeah.
And then I went and ran and started the mission. So I could do the teleport thing to get outside the room to continue the quest.
Nice.
But when I loaded the do it worked. The mission worked.
Weird.
After like 5 failed attempts. And so at a point, there's someone that tries to, you do a coup with Catherine, and someone tries to break into your room.
Okay.
And so the animation is he opens the door and he comes swinging at you.
Yeah.
Right? He could not get the door open.
That's the funniest
And I could not interact with the door.
Did you keep hearing him bang on the door trying to get in?
No, I heard nothing. It was just like, and it's weird because the cutscene shows him already in the room.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a weird, but I got through it. So
that's so funny. If it would just be banging on the door and then like slowly as morning, you're trying to figure out the command. It's like, dude, this guy's persistent.
But yeah, through all that though, the mission, as you are aware, there's a lot of tunnels underneath the city.
Yes, I have heard that through villagers.
Yeah. They're connected to every store.
Ooh. Oh no.
So if you find your way to access at night and your thievery is good enough, you could just steal anything you ever wanted.
Yeah. Oh god. And just for reference for people, Kutenberg has like, I think too many stores.
It's got like 3 of every shop.
Yeah, like sometimes on the same alley. I'm like, okay, well, I wouldn't mind if we like cut that down and then just give me like a really cool shopkeeper.
No, I'm fine with it the way it is because the vendors don't have a lot of money on them. I'm still waiting for them to restock their gold or Dushians or Duckins. What's the currency called again?
Groshen.
I am like a complete letter off.
Yeah, no worries. But it's funny. Anytime I have an encounter, kill them easily, take all their high level armor, then just go into Kutenberg, sell off each piece of armor till everyone's broke on one street. Like, cool, okay, I'm back to normal.
Yep.
Yeah.
The thing is, I do that, and I still have like a stockpile in the tavern chest waiting to sell.
Yeah, I have not been to my tavern chest in forever. I probably need to because I buy anytime I go to a tavern, I buy a room.
Yeah.
Just to be safe. Yeah.
In fact, I think at every tavern you can possibly buy one in Gutenberg, and there's multiple. I have a room in each one.
I think you're right, because there was a time where like there's two taverns next to each other, and I saw the room and board option at both, and I'm like, I guess. Like,
Yeah. You
yeah,
get to a point where money's not really a concern until you're like trying to buy like a new horse.
yeah, I bought the best horse after I thought I was pretty flush going in, and I'm like, okay, that was because there's a glitch right now that I saw like when we first started that they say it's supposed to take your old horse and deduct how much it is from your new horse.
Yeah.
It adds it together.
Oh.
Yeah, and that glitch happened to me. I didn't realize it till afterwards where I'm like, wait a minute, that horse, that was like way too expensive for what I just got. And I look and
Mhm.
yeah, it's like it's still a bug that they're working out.
Yeah.
But yeah. But yeah,
But
no.
yeah, no, it's been a great game. The fetch quests can be a bit much, taking you all over the new map, I find, but then I get why. It's supposed to get you to learn the map,
Yeah.
then open it up. But
Yeah.
I also got to the scholarship thing to where I spend a skill point and I have the whole map unlocked anyway.
Yeah, I've kind of learned where I'm like, they were very deliberate when they made
Mhm.
quests and they made dialogue and everything like that. Like if you haven't played the first game like myself, you get enough exposition right before going to a part where you will need that you don't need to play the first game. And the developers have said as much and also say that's why they did it the way they did. Is
Yeah.
that yeah, they'll make sure that you know what's going on beforehand, but yeah.
But no, great game. It's got my style of combat in it, and it's one of the few games that do it with the directional combat.
Yeah.
For some reason that's up my alley. It started with For Honor. After For Honor, I was ruined for just any game that you just spammed one button.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be weird after going somewhere else. I'm gonna need
Like,
like
go
a
play a melee game where all you do is left click
Yep.
after this.
Yeah.
It's not satisfying anymore.
No, because you actually feel like you work for every fight. Like you feel like
Yeah.
you're doing something. You're actually better than the thing that you're fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's where, like, yeah, For Honor ruined everything for a little bit. Now this is gonna ruin everything for a little bit when it comes to the melee combat. I'm gonna have to stick to shooters for a while.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Oh, okay, sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical error on my part there. Derek, sorry to cut you off there.
That's all right, buddy. So, I know we're getting into about how it ruined us for melee, and then we need to get into shooters, but I do have an exception to that. Recently, I have put a lot of hours into Monster Hunter Wilds,
Right, yep.
which in itself has like 14 different weapons to learn, and all have their own unique gimmicks and stuff like that. And though it doesn't officially support mods, there are mods out for it to make a little quality of life here and there, which is kind of nice.
And
But
others.
I showed you some examples of
Yeah,
that
I
when I
was
showed
like,
you all that
Jesus,
right there on the
guys.
front page.
Yeah.
But I got about 47 hours in it, and I feel like around like the 28 to like 32 hour mark is when I beat the first campaign, because you have your first campaign that introduces you to the game, and then you have like an epilogue that introduces you to the end game.
Yeah.
And I just beat the epilogue, so now it's just go hunt monsters, build the gear you want, make the best build you can,
Yeah.
customize it the way you want.
Sounds like a fun one though. And also the
Yeah.
mounts. That's the
yeah.
coolest part to me in this one is the mounts.
Yeah, and the fact that it holds a second weapon for you so you can swap it at any time, even middle of the fight.
Yeah.
So if you're like, oh, I'm gonna go learn a new weapon, oh, this is not working. Or if you really prefer one weapon and you're gonna carry multiple types of it, and you're like, all right, I got this one that covers this range of monsters, and I got this one that's good for this kind.
Oh, I never even thought about that. That's kind of cool.
Or if you're part farming, you can get one that's like, okay, this one cuts parts off, this one breaks parts off with blunt damage, so I can farm all the parts I want.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you can go about it that way, especially if you're solo.
Yeah, see, I was just thinking range and short range. Like,
Oh, I have both up close weapons on mine.
yeah.
Like I started off doing longsword and hammer. So I had the longsword, the weapon that I beat worlds with, and I kind of knew. And I've
Yeah.
learned the other mechanics. I'm still perfecting it because I only recently learned that you could parry attacks with it.
Okay.
But it's one of those things of like, you already have to be a move in, and then you can do a quick sheath, and then you can do like the samurai slash through an enemy's attack and not take any damage.
Okay, that's kind of dope.
But you have to get the timing down just right.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's things like they added a blocking feature to the greatsword. So you could
Okay.
use like the side of the blade to block something. And if you do like a perfect block to certain attacks, you'll end up in like a power clash with like the big beast monster.
Yeah.
So like you're pushing against your greatsword, it's pushing against your greatsword back at you, and you're like stomping and trying to push back, and you break it off, and then you can do, if you're quick with it, you can hit a button to then do the end of your normal charge combo, to where your guy does a slash, rotates over the sword, and does a big overhead slash.
Oh,
And
dope.
it's very
Okay.
satisfying.
Yeah.
So I'm learning that one, and before that, I was starting to learn the hunting horn, which is the way to kill monsters with music and buff your teammates at the same
Yeah.
time.
See, that's so cool to me.
Yeah. And different hunting horns have different colored notes, which then do different buffs and different things. So it's like, you gotta learn all that.
Yeah, once again, very not easy combat mechanics.
Satisfying. It's easy to get into because the beginning of the story, like, so when you're in the campaign, the monsters probably have half of their move set.
Okay.
And then you go to the epilogue, and all of a sudden they have the rest of their move set.
Okay, so they've been learning at the same time you've been learning types.
And then there's tempered monsters and frenzied monsters, which have additional moves.
Okay, so like tempered have more health, frenzy attack wildly.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But tempered have more specific loot drops that you can use to apply to your weapons for buffs.
Okay.
And then frenzies has more different rewards.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, and then you have your apex monsters, which are supposed to be the big bad of each zone. And there's like 7 zones.
Is there one like in Worlds? I never finished Worlds, but I always remember there was like that one huge monster that like
Where you're fighting on the back of it.
Yeah. You ever actually
There's
kill that
nothing
thing?
Quite. Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's not the end game boss either.
That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no, Wild's loving it. Decent port to the consoles. A lot of people are having issues with the PCs. I have the hardware to run it good enough to where I'm like, okay, I can play this generation at 2K ultra wide 60 FPS, but I'm not sure about the next.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I
Eventually
can
can
do
catch
that.
up to you. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one more generation, I might be back down to 1080. But no, it turns out it was just the anti-cheat that they use for PC is one of the really bad ones that uses a lot of PC resources that's not optimized well. So not only is the PC game not greatly optimized, the anti-cheat is terribly optimized.
Yeah, so it's just like hurting you even more.
Yeah, but modders have fixed the performance.
Nice.
Yeah. Have I jumped through all those hoops yet to fix mine? No, because I'm fine with the performance I have. But if I wanted to crank out the additional, like, and have the 120 FPS, I could mod it to that.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where it's a really great game and people are passionate enough to make the fixes themselves.
Exactly. I think that's actually a good show of a game. Where it's like, yes, why didn't these guys do it? It's like, well, why didn't they do tons of stuff, right? It could always be worse. It could always be better. But yeah, if the community is like passionate enough to be like, I want to play this game so bad, I'll fix it, dude. Like, you did like 90% of the work. Let me just do this last 10 and like help out here. I like that.
Now, one thing I kind of want to mention before we get into another game on our list. So GTA 5 Enhanced came out.
Yeah, what is that?
Okay, so when the PS5 and Xbox Series X came out, GTA did a huge remaster upgrade graphically, added ray tracing, added better the light trace, better SSD utilization, updated graphics, and PC didn't get it. And now it's 3 years later since the launch of that, and now we got it.
Oh. Is it free?
And yeah, free upgrade. You just migrate your progress over like you used to do in the old days when you moved from console to console or to PC.
Yeah.
So I went ahead and migrated all my stuff over, booted it up, ended up after that kind of uninstalled it, but I just wanted to migrate my stuff over.
Smart.
In case there's a deadline that they come up with, because you can no longer migrate from other consoles.
Oh, anyway. Okay. Very smart, yeah.
So, with that, essentially, it raises the concern because we're supposed to be getting GTA 6 in the fall, right?
Yeah.
And there's rumors that we'd also get a PC release, but I doubt that now severely, because if they gave us this, it's meant to keep us busy.
Yeah.
So it's probably going to come out on consoles this fall, but we're probably not going to see it on PC for a year or two.
Isn't that what happened at the start too of GTA 5?
Yeah, I think it was a year delay for PC.
And the big thing was you got first person when you got PC.
I think that was a thing just for like PS4 and the Xbox One and PC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was the big update thing to come back to that. It's like, hey, updated graphics and first person.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was just a little concerning. So I'm thinking like, okay. Yeah, they were trying to revive it, get a little more flow into it. And it's completely free to all the owners.
Which is nice.
I think it's included if you purchase GTA 5. It's a freebie.
Yeah. But they're also going to use that against you when you start complaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to basically, I don't think we're getting GTA 6 on PC soon, but I do think we're still going to get it on console, mostly due to all their investor shareholder meetings. Like, no, we're on track.
Yeah.
When any concern has been brought up. Because I think it is 4 times the budget that they used on GTA 5.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Because if you think about it back then, like GTA 4 was like a success, but it wasn't like as big as 5. There was no, like, multiplayer wasn't really a thing. Like, it was, but it wasn't like capitalized on.
If you include all the development costs for online and everything else that has happened with that, I think it was like GTA 4 cost 10% of what GTA 5 has.
Yeah.
So, money, there's server costs and everything else into that.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. But in other headlines, we've been getting up to some headliners as of late, to cracking our journalistic bones into the quarantine of New York cities.
Yeah, that is like the close to a perfectly priced game I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Where you're like, yeah, I am getting just as like much enjoyment and like everything is being tripped dopamine wise as the price entails. Where I'm like, there's not a lot of depth to it, but there's enough. There's enough depth to it. It's a good time. Do not get it if you're playing just by yourself. Not only because it's not that fun without other people, but two, they don't change the difficulty.
Well, to counter that, as of yesterday, they released an update for custom lobbies, so you can customize all the ratios.
Oh, thank God. I was gonna say, because I wouldn't even know if like the two of us or the three of us could handle, because we're stuck at level 2 difficulty right now. It goes up to 5 people. Like, oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it gives you more adjustable danger levels, set minimum levels of chaos that you want, control more over spawns, customize the number of survivors, military units trapped in your game, and how early huge creatures can spawn.
Okay.
Yeah. And up to 8-player lobbies.
8 players would be crazy.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of really sick. Because, yeah, you would just be like, okay, you guys take this zone, you guys take this zone. You'd get full coverage of a monster attack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be curious if you're like, all right, pairs of 2s, everybody split up.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, no, that'd be interesting.
And then at the end, when you do the photo reveal, when it shows you all the points, the top 5, you can see who got the top 5 out of the 4 groups of 2.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be actually really interesting. Yeah, just seeing what they did when they like went off on their own.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or even like if there's only 2 buildings, 2 teams of 4.
Exactly. And then
Yeah.
you go left, you go right type thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that was another interesting one. Well, before I get into the next one, do you got any mentionables?
I would like to mention the great game of life called Buying a Truck.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I know Derek already knows this because he's interjected into the middle of this story. But for anyone who's wondering, I have driven a 2007 Ford Ranger for just going on 5 years now.
Isn't that long, really?
I know. I actually was wondering it myself when I had so much time. Spoiler warning for what's about to come ahead. When I had so much time in that truck, I decided to just check out when I got it. So I figured out it was like it's just coming up on 5 years. So yeah, I been driving it. It's a sweetheart of a truck. It's old though. Let's be honest, it's pretty old. I knew eventually I was getting to that point where, and it says this online too, with the 200,000 kilometers, like you're getting to the point that something pretty decent is going to start to give way. And like, I was just thinking, I'm like, okay, I don't really want to deal with that. I was stranded, I think like 4 months ago or something like that. I forget what it was exactly, but I was stranded, couldn't go anywhere because of this truck. Was kind of fed up, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to start thinking about the idea of getting a new truck. And for any backstory, Derek already knows this, I am terrible with money in the sense that I don't want to spend it. I'm a greedy little goblin with my coins. Kayla calls me Smog quite regularly. I just want to lay in my coins. In my little gold coin bath.
Look, you're the leprechaun waiting in the bushes for someone to go to your pot of gold so you can go hit him in the ankle and the kneecaps of a shillelagh.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's like, don't you dare touch that. You don't know what might happen tomorrow. And that's really it, where I'm always terrified. Where I'm just like, well, who knows? But yeah, eventually I was like, okay, because also Kayla's brother was driving with us to work, so Kayla got stuck in the baby seat in the back that quite literally is just big enough for a baby. So she's been complaining enough. I've been thinking it over enough that I finally decided that this Saturday I was going to go down to Carloft where all my parents have gotten their cars and all that. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go down there, going to test drive a car or a truck. Sorry. Real funny, by the way, our one friend who does not like Carloft could not stop talking about how much he doesn't like Carloft. Anyways, so then
Oh, did you bring it up to him?
Oh, well, yeah. Also, okay, here's a funny thing in life. This is a little Adam McCaffrey, little like life lesson here. If it's back pain or if it's car dealerships, everyone always has an opinion and everyone always says that someone else's method or person sucks except for the one that they deal with. It's just life. They all back pain. You could not imagine the amount of people who gave me 20 different remedies. And when I would be like, oh yeah, that's cool. And like Derek said this remedy, they go, oh, Derek. No, Derek doesn't always gonna do. He's gonna break his back. And then I go over here. It's like, oh yeah, no, this is what Kale said. They go, oh, Kale's gonna mess you up for life. It's like, okay, people. Is there like not one person who can agree with the other person? Same thing with car dealerships, people. There were so many people that anytime I go, oh yeah, I'm going there. It's like, well, why aren't you going to a dealership? Go to a dealership. Well, that's going to be a little pricey, don't you think? Why don't you go to a small town place? Go to a small town place. Well, they're kind of shifty, don't you think? Dude, you just got to go with the one your parents go to and trust. Might not be the best, but at least you can put it into your head that you made a decision and at least this guy didn't screw over your parents. That's all I got to say on the matter. Continuing with my story. Anywho, go to Carloft, and I'm going there for a 2022 Ram, heated seats, heated steering wheel, which big thing. That's all I wanted. All I wanted of a new truck or a new vehicle. I'm like, give me some heated seats, and I wouldn't mind a heated steering wheel. I'm basic. It's petty. I know. So I go in there. And because Carloft has multiple dealerships, they say they can bring a car to you in 24 hours. Okay, cool. Go in there and go, hey, I don't see it, but I want to test drive the 2022 Ram, heated seats, heating steering wheel. Here's the code name. He goes, okay, it is in Cornwall, but I have a 2023 Ram just outside. It is the exact same type of truck. Will drive exactly the same. You can test drive it. Just so you can like understand if you know what you're driving and if you know what you want. And then obviously when the 2022 comes here, you can look over it. You can test drive it too if you want. But like just to not waste my time, essentially, we're going to do this truck. So I go out on this 2023 Ram. Pretty nice. Love it. It's a Ram. I didn't really get excited until I was about 50 meters away from Derek's place, funny enough, where I pull over. I was kind of feeling it. I go, you know what? I haven't even been listening to music in this or anything like that. I'm going to try. Connect my phone, turn on the subwoofer and all that sort of stuff. Start bumping, dude. Start bumping. Oh my good Lord. I had the giddiest high-pitched squeal laugh of my life driving back to the dealership. I didn't realize how bad my speakers were in the Ranger. Oh my good Lord, dude. It sounded like I was living in a tin can when I went back in it. You know, this sucks. So yeah, that's honestly, I was like, cool. So if the 2022 is anything like this, I'm going to be ecstatic. I got a big boy truck. I'm obviously compensating, let's be honest here. But also at least it sounds nice. So I can deal with that. And watching.
There's room for the people in the back.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a big one, too. Yeah, right? Because it's so funny, though, watching my short, fat little ass try and get in that truck, dude. It's so funny. I got to get a little run and hop into there. But, so yeah, I look at this beautiful truck. Ranger's sitting in the parking lot as I'm doing so. Go in there. I say, okay, what can you do for me? He goes, well, I can't tell you just yet. Have a bunch of customers. Salesman wasn't there today. He goes, how about this? I'll call you in an hour. I'll tell you what I can do for you. What's your payments you're looking at? I go, about 300 bi-weekly. I can do that max. He goes, okay. I leave, go to a park that's popular in the town that we were in. And start calling my insurance just to get all that stuff figured out, to figure out how much I would be looking at once Karloff gives me a call back. Insurance was not bad. It was like $250 per month. I'm like, okay, I can swing that because Kayla takes a portion of it because it's a portion of it is for her to drive. And then I get a call back from Karloff. And the guy goes, yeah, we can do your 300. I go, okay, cool. How many months? He goes, 96. I'm like, that is like, not to toot my own horn, but I have decent credit. 96 months is crazy. That was the only one you could get. And like, what are you putting on interest wise? Turns out it's not even the 7.99 interest rate that usually people go for. It was like the 8.06. I'm like, okay, not a chance. I apologize to him. I go, well, sorry for wasting your time, but I'm not touching that in a million years. He goes, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I go, no problem. Have a good day. Hang up the phone, go, boo-hoo. Guess that was all for nothing. Like, fourth truck I've looked at that, like, actually every other truck before that got sold out from under me, but whatever. I go take the parking brake off, go to look down, and I'm like, my heat is pinned. The little hot cold thermostat you got on your dash, pinned to hot. I go, what the hell? I turn off the truck. Sounds like I have 6 kettles running on my engine bay. I go out, put my ear next to the radiator. It is like boiling lava. It just sounds like I'm making tea, dude. It is brutal.
I wonder if the fan quit on you. Could you hear the fan running?
Yeah, the fan runs constantly. Well, not constantly, but you've heard it. Yeah. Maybe, who knows? I just heard the gurgling. So anyways, I go, well, isn't that like kind of funny in its own right that the second I say no to this new truck, life's just like, are you sure about that, dude? Are you sure about that, dude? And also, I always like telling people now, I like how I say that as if I've had this bar story for years, but I like telling people that my Ranger had a hissy fit once it saw me out with a 20-year-old at the bar. Because, yeah, it immediately crapped out on me. So I'm like, oh, cool. So we're going to have to sit here and wait for like a little bit because it's got to cool down for one. Because we were sitting there for a while and like we kept getting hot. And I was like, dude, wow, okay, like turn the air down a bit. I turned the air down. All of a sudden, Kayla started turning the AC on. I go, geez, I'm like sweating in here, dude. Didn't even look for a second. I was too busy on my phone doing a bunch of stuff. But yeah, so then that happens. And then I get a call back and they go, yeah, we can do 336. I got work down to 330 actually, now that I'm saying this out loud. Got work down to 330 bi-weekly for 72 months. That's pretty much on the max of everything I wanted to do. Not bad. Funny enough, out of all the trucks I looked at, this is the newest and was the cheapest option. Based on interest rates and everything like that. I don't have a life lesson for that one. I don't know how the hell that works, but quite literally all the math I've done out of everything, that was the cheapest option, which most adults don't disagree with me. Like, I hope they're going to when I say that. They're like, oh, no, that makes sense. It's like, no, that shouldn't make sense. It's like, technically, I got the Ram 1500 Classic, which is like the base model. Yeah. I got heated seats in it because your boy's a swindler. Didn't know that too. And thank God the guy didn't have like heart rate monitor on me or anything like that because your boy's chest was bumping. It was bumping like the bass because, yeah, I was terrified the whole time. But yeah, so got heated seats, negotiated them down 2 years and $6 a month. Yeah, now I just have to put in the down payment and go pick it up Wednesday. We're recording on Monday, just for everyone's heads up there. And my current truck is in the garage, figuring out what's wrong with it, and I'm driving my mom's car. God bless her. Love you, Mom. Yeah. So all this to say, I have been terrified about buying a truck forever because I'm socially awkward for one, and two, I'm stingy as hell. That, yeah, this has not helped. I am just as terrified of buying a new vehicle now as I ever have been.
Well, at least by like 2030, it'll be fully in your name and completely paid off.
Oh, yeah. I'm just never going to buy a new car because my first experience of buying something that wasn't off a marketplace has gone terribly. But yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, at least it'll be my name. It's not a bad truck. It's only got like 50K on it.
And it's only like 2 years old.
Yeah, so like I
And
can't
my brain's still going off of 2024. I'm thinking it's a year old.
Yeah, I know. Actually, I keep doing that too. Yeah, I keep finding in my notebooks because I have like 4 of them at work, and I have 2 whiteboards, and I have a calendar app. All my notebooks have 2024 in them still to this day, and I hate it because I keep writing it and then forgetting until halfway through the meeting. But whatever. Yeah. But yeah. So
You're living in the past, man.
Yeah. Which is funny when you think about it, where I do have 4 notebooks, 2 whiteboards, and then this Motion app, which they better sponsor us after this thing because this changed my life today. It's an AI calendar. I have not had this much of a productive day since I started. It is pretty much like a teacher writing your schedule down for the whole day, except you can tell the teacher like, hey, I'm so sorry, but I got to deal with something real quick. And they go, okay, fine. I'll move everything around based on your schedule. And it's like, whoa. I got like 6 things started. I closed 2 things. I was like, usually, because I think I might have like a small form of ADHD or OCD, I have to finish like 1 thing, but I like will maybe start like 2 things. But yeah. Yeah, it was kind of sick.
Yeah, speaking about living in the past, you got to fancy the new little TV, don't you?
Yes, thank you. Oh my God, yeah, I completely forgot. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk 2023 Rams another time, because I have about the smoothest ride you're ever going to be on. I have I don't know when it was made, so this kind of joke doesn't land anymore, but I have a 19-something Batman TV. Look up, please and thank you, Batman TV. That is not for my Jamie of the podcast. That is for each and every podcast listener that we do have. Look up Batman TV. You're going to love it. Got that? Got the VHS player. Ladies and gentlemen, I am gaming in style. PS2 is a rockin' on this CRTV. So cool. I honestly, I don't even know what else to say about it other than the fact that like I am like memorized by this thing as if I didn't see one like 28 years ago or whatever. Yeah, no, it is the coolest thing. If you've ever seen those memes going around about the Shrek TV or the Garfield or Hello Kitty TV, it's essentially that, but Batman, so better. But yeah, it is so cool. The DVD has its own proprietary software that like has a little bat symbol going around instead of the DVD loading screen or screensaver. It just fits so well. So well. The only problem I have now is where it is in correlation to my whole desk setup. Pretty much if you're looking at it, look at my beautiful PC in the middle. Go up about a foot to the left. That's my recording studio with Derek here. And then you go back to the PC and go about a foot and to the right. And you have where the TV is with the PS2 and the DVD player. Where I sit is currently a beanbag chair that is on the ground. So I have to crank my neck up to look at the thing. Got to get a couch for it. Besides that, I am on cloud 9 with this thing. Also, back to like our last podcast, we talked about the fact that I'm a little addicted to Reddit now. Posted that guy on Reddit. Whole page blew up. Everyone's coming out. Guys that are way older than the 2 of us are like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. I go, dope. Okay, at least I did one thing kind of dope. But yeah. Thank you for reminding me about that. I completely forgot. I got really enveloped into my truck story.
Yeah, no worries.
Anyways, now that I am fully out of breath, a little little wheezy here. What about you? What's up? What's going on?
Well, as of today, I am back into the welding stick.
Cue
and-
applause.
Yeah. So
No, applause is still going. Applause is ended. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You settled?
Oh no, it's
good?
the editor. It's not me.
Oh, okay. Damn, that Adam editor.
Yeah, I know, right,
Unless
dude?
it's AI now.
Dude, I wish. Oh my god, I could fire someone at work.
Or you could hire me. But anyway, and I'll put the prompts into the AI.
Yeah.
That'll be my job for 25 an hour. No, so back into the welding. It's going good. Today was the first day of that, and it's back to what I used to do at the company I've been at for a bit there. Since I avoided the layoffs from the previous company by going to this one.
Yep.
And yeah, no, it's been like almost 6 months of doing grueling labor I used to do when I was 19. And my bones weren't as bad as they were. And I had a lot less back pain. So I was doing that all again. And a position about a month ago opened up for their welding section that I was kind of just holding on to. I was actually just on the verge of starting to look elsewhere, and I saw that, applied to it, got it, and then their HR lady went on like a vacation thing, and then it was like a month later, I'm like, am I still getting this job? Because I'm still pushing these same whole products, and it's not great for my back.
Cuts to Derek in a full welding mask and outfit in Cancun on a beach going, Sherry, are you Sherry?
Sherry!
Yeah, you're like, Sherry from HR.
But anyway, so I did that first day on it. And it was kind of one of those things. It's like, oh, I'm going to learn how they do it their way. And they're like, okay, I want this done. I'm like, and then I go and do it. It's like, this is how you want it done? Yep. And it took probably a couple hours for the guy that was training me to basically be like, you do this before? Sort of.
Yeah.
and then it was just like toss me into the ocean and see how I fared, and I did pretty good.
Nice.
First time actually getting into aluminum though, like stainless, mild, and dirty steel. I got you all day. Aluminum, that's new. It's also a lot more fickle.
I was gonna say, I assume so. That's all I know.
It's a softer metal, and it wants to melt away.
Okay.
Like, stainless is good as long as you got a nice tight seam, because stainless doesn't like air pockets. Aluminum doesn't like slow people. You got to be fast. You got to get your sonic going, and I'm a slow welder. Like I usually, like I get the settings just right so I can move it, or like if it's a bigger thing, I can add a little weave to it, and it's all good. It's all Gucci.
Yeah.
Aluminum, nah, you just gotta go.
I'm just going to cut you off really quick so we can end off our Amherst Island 101.3 FM. It's been a while, people.
Damn.
Yeah. Broadcast. And we are going to go over to our extended edition on Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're going to be there. Thank you so much for listening to our show. We're so happy to be back in studio now. Thank you so much.
Welcome back to On the Rewind.
Okay, and welcome back to the extended edition of On the Rewind. We just finished up our Amherst Island broadcast on 101.3 FM. We are now onto our extended edition on Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you listen to podcasts. You know it already. You're listening. Sorry, Derek, to cut you off on that last part there. Just saw the time. Continue.
No worries. Well, there goes burr. Aluminum needs to go burr faster. Stainless is less picky than aluminum. Mild steel is just do what you gotta do.
Yeah. So yeah, pretty much you're leveling up.
Yeah. No, I'm actually getting to get a new skill, as well as I didn't get much time with a plasma cutter. Got to use that today. I gotta get a little bit more practice in with a plasma cutter.
That's so
usually
cool.
It's just saws, grinders, and hole saws.
Yeah.
get whatever I want done, right? And yeah, no, this one it's like, nah, we're gonna go right through, and yeah, and I'm just like, oh, okay, it's different.
Yeah.
But
So you're
what's
doing,
kind of funny? Sorry, go ahead.
So you're doing everything pretty much more efficient and quicker, by the sounds of it.
Yes, but the drawings confuse me a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, so they have template drawing, and then they have a chart. So you have to cross the chart to the template drawing. So only about a quarter of the template drawing is useful to you. And you have to ignore the rest of the drawing.
Oh. Okay.
And according to Buddy, it changes day to day because different engineers use different templates. So he showed me what I had to catch my eye on. Now, mind you, he was just kind of great guy, answered my questions, but thank God I knew what questions to ask, because otherwise I'm pretty sure I'd have a lot more to try and figure out if I didn't, like, whoa, tell me why.
Yeah. Which I always think is the best way of understanding any task,
Yeah.
is figure out why. There is times and places where I do get annoyed when someone asks why, when you can clearly see that it's like, okay, we're on a time crunch. Maybe afterwards we can talk about the why of it. But yeah, no, I think it is like the most important question to ask.
Yeah. Oh, I'll ask you even if it's annoying you, because that one's like, no. Answer it now, and I won't have to ask it later. And it won't come up again.
I'll have a beer with
Because
you and
I
answer it
take
later.
notes.
I do printouts, actually. It's actually really funny. I was walking around with.
Can I read my notes? Depends how fast how long your answer is and how fast I gotta write.
Exactly.
How fast you talk.
Yeah.
But
That's funny.
what was kind of funny over the weekend, I sent you a lot of pictures and told you a lot of information about welding and the general industry that I'm in. And you're talking about different, like, oh, this will kind of look like that. And I'm like, did it look like this? And you're like, yeah, that's this kind of welding.
All I took out of it now, because you were on fire, was 1/8 of an inch. That's about all I got now. I'll have to go back on my notes because that's all that's stuck out now.
Yeah, that's all that's sticking out. God
Yeah.
damn. Go click on one of those ads. Go take the pill.
It's not even. It's warm. It's not even cold anymore. It was a warm day.
Yeah. So Adam learned that when I'm teaching, I become a bit of a tease on top of the lesson. I crack a lot of jokes while I teach.
And I get distracted
Nothing
by
that's
said
appropriate
jokes.
for air.
Yeah, no. I get distracted by said jokes and everything goes out the window, apparently. But yeah, no. No, it was actually interesting. It's one of those things that I've always wanted to do with a friend group, where it's like, you see it on TikTok and stuff like that, where they do PowerPoints on what I do. The problem is we talk too much to each other, but I would think it would be actually very interesting in a group of like 8 people where like we all just hang out. We never really get into what I do. I can see it happening with like city friends and stuff like that, where you don't really talk about your work. You kind of, like where they work and what their sort of position is. Yeah. But it's always interested me if we could do that. Or just have a nice PowerPoint on, okay, like what do I do day to day?
I mean, we could still do that.
Oh, we could, yeah. You and I would just know more about each other's day to day than probably even Kayla knows about my day to day. But yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Any other little touch ups or topics you want to hit?
No, I'm finished off.
All right. Quick little bit of blurb of stuff to come. So we got GTA. We talked about the GTA. We talked about Kingdom Come Deliverance. Interesting thing if you're looking into MMOs, Once Human, a very popular free-to-play MMO on Steam that kind of lost a little bit of hype when people realized that they're going to have server wipes. Now has persistent servers for the people that don't want to have to deal with the wipes.
I like it.
Yeah. So essentially, take your take Ubisoft's Division, take Conan Exiles or any like survival game where you're gonna go build a base in the open world, and then add like Lovecraftian Eldritch horror.
Yeah.
And that's essentially the game. It's got if you played Fallout 76, kind of a similar loop. But
Okay.
the big thing that it's kind of got going on for it is it adds a lot of, I guess, utility that you wouldn't find in the average one. Like I know Dune Awakening is advertising a lot of the same features, but you have vehicles. You can craft, like you start off with this motorcycle. If you want, you can craft like this muscle car so you and your buddy can go driving together, or you can get like a nice truck so you and the boys can sit in and ride
Yeah.
off to whatever raid you're doing.
Bro.
And it's got a whole like you're not picking a class, what you're doing is determined by your gear
Mm-hmm.
and all that. So it's got a nice niche there. One game that everyone was kind of saying was like, oh, this isn't gonna last, but has since its launch back in just uno momento, just want to double check to make sure I'm gonna get this number right. Back in 2022, November, Warhammer 40k Darktide, which I think I roped you into playing via Game Pass once.
No.
No? I thought so.
Total
anyway.
War? No.
No. Warhammer 40k.
Yeah, no. There was that one top-down vampire thing. Sorry to
Okay,
derail.
that was V Rising, but no
Yep.
worries. So
Yep.
Darktide is in its third year of still receiving updates, expanding upon their content. So if you like the grim dark world of Warhammer 40k, which is its own really fun niche,
Mm-hmm.
because what if a world had no heroes and everyone was at war anyway?
That is
Everyone's the
interesting.
bad guy to some degree.
Yeah.
Because even the humans are turning dead babies into servos to be used as robot assistants. So,
Yeah, I would say no one's a hero in that realm.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
yeah. The closest thing you got is to a mushroom orc that just lives the fight and are the most powerfully magic being, but they're too dumb to use it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
They're like, the power of their imagination can bend reality. There's a human general, I forget the name, that has a robotic eye that one orc decided one day he was going to believe that it could shoot lasers. And one day when that general was in combat, it started shooting lasers. And then they all started to believe it could happen. And then at some point they believed it so hard he could control it.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
I love it.
And to the point where these people love to fight so much that the one time, like the most fearsome warrior, they finally had him cornered in combat, defeated his platoon. They let him go because they're like, it's tough to come by good enemies.
Oh, I like that. That's always good.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you
sweet.
got like 4 different chaos gods doing different things. Some things that would definitely get censored on YouTube immediately.
Yeah.
But it's based in that universe, and it's kind of like if you took the Left 4 Dead format and then put it into kind of like a mission selector with your difficulty selector. Like imagine Left 4 Dead and Payday had a grim dark sci-fi baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's pretty much what it comes down to. Like it's a 4-player co-op. You load into the mission at whatever difficulty. You complete the tasks. There's a boss fight at the end. There's 4 classes. One of them being an Ogren, which is if you made Shrek a mini giant and then painted him Caucasian or whatever race that you wanted, but kept the same antics.
I like it. Seems like it would be a decent TV show too.
Yeah. Fun fact you mentioned that Henry Cavill has been behind it with Amazon Prime to get Warhammer 40K show going.
Mm-hmm.
Problem with it is that like any show Henry Cavill touches, he wants to keep to the original lore, and the writers want to put their twist on it so they can say why they're valued in their paycheck.
Yep. God,
Same
yeah.
thing happened with the last season of Witcher.
It's so funny that Henry Cavill is. Or I did listen to that part. It's the fact that Henry Cavill's like super buff, but also is somehow like a bigger like gamer nerd than like most of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Well, the fun fact is Warhammer 40K is his bread and butter of nerddom. It's his
okay.
favorite thing.
Okay. And then Witcher was kind of like, yeah, okay. Just gonna say, like, life is not fair.
Yeah.
How could that? Well, it's money. It's mostly money, but has enough money to like look that good and then also have the gaming prowess of like someone who I'm like, okay, you're like a decent gaming
Well,
nerd.
you heard about how he almost didn't get Superman
Yeah.
because he was in the middle of a World of Warcraft raid.
Yeah. And it's like, what are we doing?
Not playing World of Warcraft enough,
Yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, no. Oh, God.
But yeah, no, it's a game that's gone through the roller coaster of reviews up and down, but it's finally sitting at mostly positive 3 years later, full of content, and
Mm-hmm.
all the content's free.
Nice.
It's just kept going. So it's like a $50 game that is definitely earned its bang for buck by now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then one of my favorite horror games, Outlast Trials.
Oh, yeah. You don't,
The
you
horror
don't say.
thriller just released its next year roadmap. So it's got another year of content planned to come this way.
Nice.
Yeah. Won't get too much into it because they haven't talked too much about it. But essentially, there's going to be a new event in it. There's going to be a new catalog for like customization, some new challenges, new plan, and there's going to be what's called Outlast Trials, the Amelia update, to
Okay.
where the new trial map, new enemy NPCs, new game mode, where you're actually going to be trying to escape the laboratory.
Okay.
So most of the endings involve you finally becoming a sleeper agent and then donning a new character, but you keep all your buffs and stats and everything upgraded. It's just, that one finally did the thing. Keep playing your game, recustomize a character, and come back in, make the same one if you want, but you still have everything you unlocked from that point on.
Okay.
Not quite New Gaming Plus, but every time you do it, the final mission gets a little bit harder to new game your character, and you get a legendary customization unlock.
Do you lose your character if you die?
No.
Oh, okay. Cool.
No. You think you would with how brutally they die sometimes, but no. It's a game.
Nice.
Last game I kind of want to talk about, and it's something that I'm probably going to course you into at least watching me play while I record it, is Order 13. You are working essentially an Amazon warehouse. You have to manage your cat's happiness and loneliness while you go through a warehouse and fill out orders. Fun little twist. It's filled with monsters and things trying to hunt you.
Sorry, you're trying to manage your cat's happiness?
Yes. You live in a cargo container where your cat is, and it's also where you ship your orders, but you have to go into the warehouse to collect the orders, right? And your timer on how much you can be out into the warehouse is how happy and less lonely your cat is. The lonelier your cat is, or unhappy,
The less time you have.
The less time you have, because if you let it go to 0, well, your cat died of loneliness and you're a bad owner.
That is so funny. Also with Harlow, I would have 30 seconds no matter what I do.
But you can buy like toys and like food
Oh,
and stuff like that to
yeah.
replenish it and stuff like that. So there's a cat management game inside a
Yeah.
horror game inside an Amazon warehouse.
I love it.
So we'll be checking that out. You can probably check that out at Exabyte on YouTube.
There you go. Damn right.
We just did a recording of headliners. Audio is a little bit spiffed on that. I didn't really bother getting the mixer out properly for it,
Mhm.
and just kind of let all the audio tracks go on one when I should have done the multiple. Because it sounded all fine on the headphones, and then when I looked back at the recording, it did not.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, our poor boy Adam here is a little muffled.
I
in some
mumble most
instances.
days anyways, so that's okay.
So, still probably going to upload it. Uploading it probably with little to no editing because, well, there's not much in the fixing the audio. So,
Yeah.
but Order 13 is going to be the next little thing that I think I'm going to snag up, throw the little software on, and we're going to crack at it.
Damn right. No, that sounds cool as hell.
All right. So, with that, I think that's the end of the run of the show.
All right. So, yeah, if
why don't you go ahead and
that,
take us out?
that ends it off, then yeah, I just want to take another time to thank everyone for listening to us. Once again, we were on a bit of a hiatus with scheduling and mishaps in life and all that sort of thing, but we are so glad to be back
With a new truck?
with the new truck. Yes, now the studio's in the truck. Now,
We
could make it happen actually, yeah. But yeah, no, just want to say thank you so much for listening. It makes it all worthwhile. We've been doing this, God, 2 years,
Going on 3.
going on 3 years. And I gotta say, even if no one was listening, I'd still have the best time ever. But we do see some people do tune in and do listen, and yeah, that means the world to us. So once again, thank you so much for listening. This has been On the Rewind. We broadcast on Amherst Island Radio 101.3 FM every other Thursday, and then we also are on Spotify, Amazon, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're gonna be right there waiting for you. I'm Adam.
I'm Derek.
And we just
rewound. God damn it, Adam.
You did the we
Keep
just,
up.
and that threw me off.
Thanks for listening to On the Rewind.